Coming up on the news at 6, a new bill would require men to have a written note from their wife before being prescribed Viagra. And as the tax season gets into full swing, we'll explain how you can keep safe from tax fraud in the mail. Richard.
Philip, rain is moving out, dry weather moving in. We'll talk about that forecast. The news at 6 is coming up next.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we out.
Let me know next time, baby.
Okay.
3.
This is WVUA 23 News at 6.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Philip Coleman. Topping the news tonight, the weather. Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott has been following today's storms and frequent rainfall. He joins us now live with the latest.
Philip, good news so far. The severe weather conditions have ended across our coverage area. Still a lot of rain for central and east Alabama. In fact, we'll check some of that rain out, Philip, because the rain has been quite heavy over the past several hours over parts of Alabama. Notice, though, for places like Tuscaloosa over towards the Utah, Reform, Gordo, Fayette, Jasmine, rain is quickly coming to an end. Still got a lot of heavy rain across the eastern part of Alabama, so it's going to be traveling over the next several hours, generally near and east of Interstate 65. Be careful because it is a mess. Also, weather pictures, sunset pictures over West Alabama taken from our viewers here across the west portion of Alabama. So the rain has come to end. We'll look more at these pictures and weather here in a little bit. Rainfall amounts are quite heavy, but one good thing out there now, notice a watch warning map showing all of west, central, and east Alabama no longer under watch, no warnings. All the activity is down around the Montgomery TV market, so all that activity will continue to move on out over the next several hours. The forecast for tonight, rain ending fast tonight. Temperatures will be dropping. I've got to look at that complete 7-day forecast that is coming up in weather.
All right, thanks a lot, Richard. It's tax season, and that means law enforcement is seeing more cases of tax-related mail fraud. WVUA 23's Chelsea Barden joins us now live with some tips on how you can keep your identity safe. Chelsea.
Philip, authorities say this form of identity theft is becoming more and more common. These thieves are looking for documents that arrive in the mail this time of year, such as W-2s, 1099s, and updated Medicare or Medicaid cards. Victims are most likely to be targeted during the midday or afternoon hours after the mail is delivered and before people arrive home from work. But what can you do to keep this from happening to you? Northport Community Relations Officer Carrie Baker suggests getting a mailbox with a lock, having your tax refund directly deposited, and making sure your neighbors have your back.
It's really imperative that the community in a whole pays attention. If your neighbor's out of town or you're going to be out of town, make sure you have someone responsible that's getting your mail so that you don't become a victim. We ask that you pay attention to those things. Snap a quick picture, get a tag number, call us, let us respond out and verify that that individual is legitimately there for legal reasons, not illegal reasons, and for your best interest.
There's only been one confirmed case of mail theft here in Tuscaloosa County. It was reported last week in the 11,000 block of Knowlwood Road. The suspect was identified as a white female driving a 2002 gray Chevy Impala with 2 white male passengers. Live tonight, I'm Chelsea Barton, WVUA 23 News.
Thanks, Chelsea. We now have new information after 8 people were arrested in Tuscaloosa for prostitution during the weekend. We spoke with Tuscaloosa Police Chief Steve Anderson, who tells us the Northport and Tuscaloosa Police Department works together on this case. They say they were allowed to use 3 rooms at a local hotel for a sting operation. The investigation focused on men who solicit online prostitution along what's known as the Skyland Corridor. The men were taken to the Tuscaloosa County Jail where their bonds were set at $1,000 each. In news now from Perry County, 3 men are behind bars for the rape and kidnapping of a 14-year-old girl from Marion. Teresa Jones, 21 of Uniontown, Marcus Tabb Jr., 21 of Demopolis, and a 17-year-old whose name has not been released due to his age, allegedly picked up the victim near her home in Marion on January the 19th. According to authorities, the 3 suspects took the victim to an undisclosed location in Uniontown where they each allegedly raped her and held her against her will until the following day when she was driven back to Marion by at least one of the suspects. Meanwhile, the Marion Times-Standard is reporting that the young girl's parents searched for her all night long and then took her out of the county to have a rape kit done on her once she was returned home. In Greene County, 5 people are recovering from gunshot injuries. According to the Greene County law enforcement officials, a shooting occurred inside Howard's nightclub in Union after 1 a.m. on Sunday morning. There were no fatalities, but 3 of the 5 who were shot remain hospitalized. Authorities say the shots were fired during an altercation and there may have been several shooters involved. A Greene County Sheriff's deputy tells us that they are in the process now of interviewing numerous witnesses and they expect to make arrests in the coming days. If you have any information on this case, please call the Greene County Sheriff's Department at area code 205-372-3242. Now in other news, the National Pro Fast Pitch Championship Series is coming to Rhodes Stadium in Tuscaloosa. There will be 4 teams in a 4-day elimination series beginning on August 19th and ending with the best of 3 championship finals on August the 21st and 22nd. And if there's a Game 3, it will be held on August 23rd. There will also be an athlete development clinic and 2016 award ceremony to be held as well. Residents at the Tuscaloosa VA Medical Center had a very special treat on Monday as National Salute to Veteran Patients Week got underway. Noah Galloway, who became known all across the nation from his participating on ABC's Dancing with the Stars, was in town to talk with the patients at the Tuscaloosa facility. Galloway, a former U.S. Army soldier and model and motivational speaker, lost his left arm and left leg in service to our country. He says he is glad that his celebrity status allows him to travel around the country speaking with veterans.
Being in the public eye and being a veteran has given me a platform that I am proud to use. And, you know, if it does a little bit, then that's enough. I'm doing my part.
And Galloway also inspired many others with his performance on Dancing with the Stars. A Kentucky lawmaker has introduced a bill that would make it more difficult for men to purchase the erectile dysfunction drug known as Viagra. The bill would require men to have a signed letter from their wife. It would also require men to visit a doctor twice before getting that prescription. And they must also promise to use the pills only with their wife. The death of U.S. Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia during this past weekend has left a major hole in the nation's highest court and sent many in the GOP into attack mode when it comes to the process of replacing him. Jack Royer joins us now live with more on Scalia's legacy and what lies ahead for the U.S. Supreme Court. Jack.
Philip, he's the first justice to die while serving since Chief Justice William Rehnquist, who died in 2005. Scalia was found Saturday morning in his Texas resort room during a hunting trip. Antonin Scalia was known for his championing of conservative issues. He was nominated by President Reagan in 1986. 30 years later, many in the GOP are using his death as a campaign point. Presidential candidates arguing that the next president should be the one to nominate Scalia's replacement, not President Obama. Experts tell me this will likely be a long process to confirm the next nominee, as Scalia's death comes in the middle of the current court session.
And to me, that suggests that the Supreme Court is getting
don't have a timer now.
American political system. You can put on Joseph. It should be the case that presidential elections are about more than just who gets to nominate justices to the Supreme Court.
Scalia was pronounced dead over the phone in accordance with Texas law. No autopsy was performed on his body. That means, though, that President Obama will soon be able to choose a nominee to replace Justice Scalia. But, as we mentioned, Republican congressional leaders are threatening to block anyone that the president nominates. Experts that I talked to say a likely shoe-in would be a sitting U.S. senator or congressman, as Republicans would be likely to support that person. Congress has a history of supporting its own members as Supreme Court nominees. We'll have more on the ongoing process to replace Scalia coming up at 10. Reporting live, Jack Royer, WVUA 23 News.
Roll it, music.
All right,
music.
thanks a lot, Jack. Now, still to come, Apple Computers is recalling more chargers. Find out if you qualify for a new one.
And a birthday celebration at the Rosa Parks Museum in Montgomery. I was there. I'll tell you why when we return.
3, 2, 1, and we are out. Music.
In news around Alabama tonight, earlier this month, the Rosa Parks Museum in Montgomery celebrated what would have been the civil rights pioneer's 103rd birthday. WVUA 23's Jabari Pruitt was in Montgomery for that big celebration. He joins us now live with more. Jabari.
Well, Philip, as part of Black History Month, I took a tour of the remodeled museum that's dedicated to her.
Down. He's going.
The Rosa Parks Museum was opened and dedicated to Parks back in 2000. It's a major landmark in the revitalization of downtown Montgomery. Its purpose not only educate the public about Rosa Parks, but also owned events and accomplishments that happened during the Montgomery bus boycott.
I think people a lot of times, maybe they were taught just about her, but they don't understand that it was actually a movement, and there were strategies involved, and there was adversity, and that the activists endured a lot.
The museum is not only praised locally, but it has become very popular among people in other countries.
People want to come and learn about how they strategize, how they come together, work together from a grassroots level to make such a profound impact on the civil rights movement.
The museum includes a permanent exhibit, a time machine, archives, and a children's wing.
It's important for everyone to kind of come and learn not just about Mrs. Parks and her act of courage, but about the movement as a whole and the boycott as a whole.
Now, you can take a tour of the Rosa Parks Museum anytime, and it's free. But for now, reporting live, Jabari Pruitt, WVUA 23 News.
All right, thanks a lot, Jabari. Apple Computers is recalling some USB-C cables that may fail due to a design problem. The company said the products, which were included with MacBooks through June of 2015, may not charge or only charge sometimes when connected to a power adapter with an affected cable. Apple is offering new redesigned charge cables for free to qualified customers. To find out if you have one of those cables or for details on getting a replacement cable, just go online to apple.com.
Well, rain is finally ending from west-east across Alabama. A lot of rain out there earlier today. We'll talk more about your forecast, plus how cool it gets tonight. Weather is up next.
3, 2, 1, and we out.
5 seconds.
We don't know yet. 4.
Get that shot.
Yeah, zoom out a little bit.
Zoom out on the camera. Come on, here we go.
Roll it.
Good evening, everybody. We've got some breaking news to pass along to you from a local high school. Mike Smith, the only head football coach Northridge Jaguars have ever had, confirmed to me tonight that he has announced his retirement at the school. He will not be back as the football coach in 2016 at Northridge. He took over the program in 2003, and in 13 seasons, he led the Jags to 6 state high school playoff appearances this past season. They went 9-3. And advanced to the second round. He tells me that redistricting is a factor in his decision. Again, Mike Smith retiring after 13 seasons as the head coach at Northridge High School, the only coach the Jags have ever had. Did a great job there retiring, but said he would like to coach again in the future. We'll have more on that story for you tonight on the news at 10. Well, now to college coaching news. According to a report by Sports Illustrated's Thayer Evans, Alabama head football coach Nick Saban is shuffling his coaching staff. Evans reported that Saban is expected to add former Central Florida offensive coordinator Brent Key to the Alabama staff as interior offensive line coach, coaching the guards and centers, a move that will shift Mario Cristobal to tight ends and offensive tackles. The 37-year-old Trustful native played offensive guard at Georgia Tech from 97 to 2000 for George O'Leary and spent the previous 11 seasons under O'Leary at Central Florida, rising from a graduate assistant to the team's offensive coordinator position. Well, LSU hired Damian Craig as wide receivers coach on Sunday. Craig joins LSU after serving 3 seasons on the Auburn staff as co-offensive coordinator and wide receivers coach. In 2013, Craig helped Auburn to the SEC title and an appearance in the BCS National Championship game. He played quarterback at AU from 94 to 97, where he still holds numerous Auburn passing records. In 3 seasons on the staff at Florida State, Craig helped the Seminoles to a 31-10 record, and he went to Florida State after a 2-year run at South Alabama, where he directed the wide receivers. Cody Burns, former Auburn quarterback, is going to take over for Craig. He had been on the staff for 41 days at Arizona State. Well, in a recent Title IX lawsuit filed against the University of Tennessee, multiple Jane Doe plaintiffs alleged the university created a hostile sexual environment favoring student athletes. The alleged incident in 1996 between Peyton Manning and a former athletic trainer is cited in the lawsuit. Including Manning's incident in the lawsuit is an attempt to establish a pattern of responses the university allegedly took toward sexual assault. Well, after having their 117-meet win streak over Auburn broken on Friday night at the Auburn Arena, the Alabama gymnastics team bounced back on Sunday with a dominating 197.375 to 195.25 win over West Virginia right here in Tuscaloosa. Afterwards, UA head coach Dana Duckworth reflected on how collegiate gymnastics has changed in recent years, with so many more teams now capable of winning.
Duckworth's going.
I use a lot of my former experiences in my style of coaching and in knowing these ladies individually. Because what I do with Katie is not what I do with Amy. And it's very important. So that part of it is similar to how we were brought up.
I sent you a picture of that rainbow.
But the world of gymnastics is different. There are so many more great teams. There's so much more parity going on in this sport. And so it's like you can't sit back a single meet because everyone's getting better.
Well, the Alabama men's and women's swimming and diving teams begin competition at the 2016 SEC Championships tomorrow in Columbia, Missouri. Now, the Crimson Tide men finished 5th last season, while the women were 9th. In recent years, Auburn, dominated the SEC meet, but UA head coach Dennis Persley says numerous teams are capable of winning this year.
He's going.
We've got a lot of Auburns in the SEC, which is exciting to us. It's kind of like the football conference, the top 5, especially on the men's side. But even women, you get the top 5 teams in the SEC are going to be in the top 10 in the country. And so it's not just Auburn. It's pretty much anybody you want to look at in the SEC that's it's going to be very competitive, pose a big challenge.
And once again, our top story tonight, Mike Smith, the only head football coach that the Northridge Jags have ever had, has announced his retirement. We'll have more on that story tonight at 10. I'll see you then. The news at 6 will continue right after this.
3, 2, 1, and we out.
You should have about 20 or so.
The cutest Valentines perhaps you've ever seen. A polar bear cub playing in the snow, and a school superintendent channels a popular R&B artist. Seth Kovar has that all in today's Take a Look at This.
Take a look at these tiny Valentine babies. Newborns at Pennsylvania's Washington Hospital are decked out in red hats and tucked into envelopes created just for them. It's part of the Little Hats, Big Hearts program. Volunteers from the American Heart Association knit the hats for all babies born in February at participating hospitals. The program raises awareness for heart disease in addition to celebrating Valentine's Day. This polar bear cub is playing in the snow for the first time. Now, she seems cautious at first, but quickly starts to enjoy it. The cub was born in the Toronto Zoo in November. She's not the only one excited for a snow day.
You know I'm calling on your cell phone to let you know no school today.
The superintendent of Greater Clark County Schools near Louisville, Kentucky, got a little creative announcing a snow day Monday. For Snowline Bling, Dr. Andrew Mellon inserted his face into Drake's Hotline Bling video and sang the message to students.
There will be no class today for you.
For Take a Look at This, I'm Seth Kovar.
Well, no snow days around here, but lots of rain today, and I was glad to hear you say it's clearing out.
Hey, the rain's getting out of here. West Alabama totally dry now from Interstate 65 points west to the east of that. Still a lot of rain on radar. Let's check it out. Areas again from downtown Birmingham points to west. You're dry. No more rain like tonight. That does move out. Temperatures will be much warmer by the weekend. Look at that. Low 70s on Friday through Sunday.
All right, a little taste of spring.
Give me some music.
That's going to do it for the news at 6. Thanks so much for joining us. There's more local news tonight right here at 10 o'clock. Find us online anytime at WVUA23.com. Have a very good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Killer Mike, music up 4.
Keep pushing. 3, 2, 1.
last night.